Bailey Armour and Scott Shapiro with First Bet back here to talk about a great weekend of stakes action this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday on a special Memorial Day card at Santa Anita. Now, there are 10 stakes races across all 3 days of racing, loads of action, plenty of options to find a horse you like. Scott, tell me how you're feeling about this weekend.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun out in Arcadia, Bailey. You mentioned the holiday Memorial Day card. We'll get to that in a moment. Some real good graded stakes action there. The Cowbreds taking center stage on Saturday. A lot of good fun Cowbred stakes action, and then a couple of stakes races on Sunday. So lots of reasons to get involved. We've got the hit it and split it, pick four opportunities throughout the 4 days at Santa Anita, and plenty of else going on at Express Bet and First Bet.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and dive right into the biggest piece of action, in my opinion, this weekend. The Hollywood Gold Cup, Grade 2 on Monday. A mile and a quarter and a field of 8 are set to enter the gate on 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Now you have to do your time zone conversion depending on where you are. And when I first looked at this field, I thought it was interesting that there were two horses by Good Magic and two horses by Arrogate in this field, of two sires that have had a pretty hot streak right now. Now, of course, I've got a horse that I like in this race, but I'm going to kick it over to you. Take it away. Tell us what you think about the Gold Cup.
Well, I think the pace is going to be honest, Bailey, in this mile and a quarter event. A lot of runners stretching out, of course, for a mile and an eighth or shorter distances. Not all of them, but I think that is likely to set it up for a runner from off the pace, at least in my estimation. And I think the likeliest to take advantage of that is one of the Arrogate Colts, and that is number 5, Mr. Fisk, who took a little while to get going, much like his son, his father, Arrogate, who didn't have as many starts to get going, but got a late start to the races as well. And Mr. Fix didn't take much money early on in his career, was kind of plotty, but really seems like he's coming into his own. He's rattled off 3 straight wins, the lone defeat in the San Pasquale. He was 4 wide into the first turn, remained really wide on the backstretch. Pretty forgivable effort. And I thought it was impressive last time out. Didn't get much of a setup and still was much the best in that compact group pulling all way in the Grade 3 Californian. So with the setup and with the moving forward, instead of maybe some of the runners in here that maybe over or outclassed or maybe have seen better days, I think Mr. Fisk sitting on a career best performance potentially.
Do you know what the Mr. Fisk name comes from?
No, I don't. Tell me.
I was really excited about this when I saw him in the entries. That's the villain in The Flash, is Mr. Fisk.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Sunny.
Yeah. A little comic book knowledge for you there.
Interesting. That's good information, and hopefully we'll hear his name as he crosses the wire first and visits the winner's circle. But how you feeling? I think you're on somebody different.
I am with somebody different, but also a horse that came out of that Grade 3 California last out, just behind Mr. Fisk, 2 lengths behind, so not quite too far. I'm on the number 3, Judge Miller. This is a horse for trainer Mark Latt and Frankie Dettori, who is a full brother to Clairiere, that incredible multiple Grade 1 winner for trainer Steve Asmussen. I think this horse has plenty of experience at this level, and he might be taking just a little bit of a step up today because I think this is a pretty strong field. But of course, he ran second behind Mr. Fisk and then finished ahead of Mix 2, who's also in this race. I think that the Baffert horse, the number 1, Reincarnate, is an incredibly classy horse with the jockey Juan Hernandez up. But I do worry about the pace in this race. I think that it does set it up, like you mentioned, for a horse that comes off the pace. So hopefully Judge Miller or Mr. Fisk, I'll give you some good luck boost there, will come out on top on Monday in the Grade 2 Hollywood Gold Cup.
Judge Miller is interesting. I mean, like you said, the pedigree is outstanding. Not only is he got some good high quality siblings, but the dam cavorting was a very talented runner as well. Obviously, Curlin, we don't need to tell you about, stands for 250,000, was very good on the racetrack as well. The blinkers go on, but Frankie Dettori goes back aboard, which he had this one just off the pace when he was aboard last time, but I would presume Frankie's going to do his homework and will maybe try to relax this one just off the pace, despite the presence of blinkers. But yeah, that honest early pace could set things up for someone from off of it.
Yeah, a mile and a quarter is a long way to go, especially for some of these horses stretching out. But it's not so far that it concerns me where I feel like they can't get that extra distance. So I'm really excited to see how this race plays out on Monday evening.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. We get some compact groups where maybe there's a real big standout in some of these Santa Anita stakes, but I don't feel that way in here. 8-race field, a couple of different ways to go at the least. So should be fun. I'm going to fade Reincarnate, though. That's for sure.
Well, speaking of plenty of stakes action across this weekend, I know I picked another stake that I'm pretty interested in taking a look at. What about you? Do you have anything?
I did. I know you've got one on Sunday, so we'll go backwards. I know you like the turf sprint on the Sunday card, but why don't we go with the race after the Hollywood or the Gold Cup at Santa Anita in the Grade One Shoemaker Mile goes as race 11 on that Memorial Day card. Grade One, $300,000. This is another race I saw a lot of early speed in. Bailey, you've got the likes of Conclude, you've got Air Force Red, Dominican Pioneer. And the horse that I'm most interested in at a price, who I hope can sit just off it with that man aboard, Frankie Dettori. And that's fantastic again. This is a fantastic colt that's raced primarily in Kentucky, raced in the James W. Murphy at Pimlico last year, and actually was entered in the dinner party on the race before the Preakness where you were at last Saturday with the yielding turf course or the course with the give in it, wherever you want to call it. Wesley Ward opted to scratch out of that spot, send this one out to Southern California for a Grade One. And I think he's got a lot of talent. Last out, finished a solid third, maybe moving a little bit too early in the Grade Three Kentucky Cup Classic over the all-weather at Turfway. But if he can sit just off the pace, I think he's got a lot of upside still, and maybe he'll get overlooked in the wagering with the likes of Johannes, with the likes of DeJour, who I think will get good trips. They got really good trips last out and should get them again, but are likely going to be much shorter prices than Fantastic again.
I think that is an incredible preview, and I loved hearing you talk about it. Fantastic again was also the horse that I landed on when I took a look at the Shoemaker Mile, so it always makes me feel good when we have the same picks and we talked about it. All right, so taking it back to Sunday's card, I'm going to take a look at the Grade 3 Daytona Stakes. That's a 6.5 furlong sprint going on the unique downhill turf course at Santa Anita, which is one of my favorite courses to watch in the whole country. Now, the horse I'm on here is the number 4 First Piece for trainer Mark Glatt and jockey Mike Smith. This horse has plenty of experience on that unique downhill turf course. He's run over it multiple times, going all the way back to the September of 2022. And the thing that I like the most about this horse is he's really consistent in his pattern. He either wins or runs second, and after he runs second, he comes back and wins. And he's done that back to back to back to back, going all the way back to the last 2 years. Now, this horse is 4-1 on the morning line. And based on that past performance data, you might not get that price come Sunday and race day. You might see a little short of a price, probably close to 3-1, 2-1. I don't think it'll come down too much because you've got some big horses in this race, but I'm going to be on the number 4 First Piece.
Well, you talked about the downhill turf course, and I agree. The hillside turf course is my favorite turf course, particularly to watch sprints. It's so unique, and it's very much different than a lot of the turf courses that we see sprints around throughout the country. Those 5.5 furlong turf sprints do not play like this at all. You need a foundation under you. You need the ability to get some distance as well. First Piece has got that affinity for this unique configuration, like you said, should get a perfect stalking trip. So makes a ton of sense. And we talked about 2 fantastic colts in succession. I've never done that before. I don't know about you.
I can't say I've ever done that before either, but it is pretty fantastic when you think about it, right?
Hopefully it's a fantastic weekend at Santa Anita, and we're fantastically cashing last the tickets.
Yeah, fantastically catching lots of tickets, fantastically finding a bunch of prices, and it will be fantastic to play in the $5,000 late pick 4 hidden split at Santa Anita every day this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You've got your chance to win your share of $5,000 when you hit the late pick 4, covering the last pick 4 races on the card. Take what we talked about today, all of those great stakes preview informations, follow along on ExpressBet and FirstBet social channels for more information and picks about this weekend of racing at Santa Anita, and we'll see you there.